The morning after their extraordinary encounter, the 6 friends gathered in the small park near their school. The sun was just beginning to rise, casting long shadows and painting the sky with streaks of pink and orange. Despite the early hour, their excitement was palpable. "We're really superheroes now," Jake said, a grin stretching across his face as he attempted to create a shield with a flick of his hand. Nothing happened, and he frowned. "Okay, maybe not quite yet." "We'll figure it out," Emma reassured him. "But first, we need to focus on our mission. We have to find out who took the Crystal of Eternity and why." Lily nodded, her expression serious. "Right. The figure said it could disrupt the balance of our world. We can't let that happen." Max, always the planner, had already started piecing together a strategy. "We should start by figuring out who in Brightwood would even know about something like the crystal. It's not exactly common knowledge." Noah scratched his head. "Maybe we should check out the old library. It's full of ancient books and stuff. There might be something about the crystal in there." "Good idea," Mia chimed in. "And I can try to draw what I remember of the figure and the symbol on the letter. Maybe that will help us find a clue." The group agreed, and after school, they made their way to the old library on the outskirts of town. The building was tall and imposing, its stone walls covered in ivy. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of aged paper and dust, and the towering shelves were filled with books that looked as though they hadn't been touched in years. Mrs. Willow, the elderly librarian, greeted them with a warm smile. "What brings you all here today?" "We're looking for books on ancient artifacts or crystals," Max said, trying to sound as casual as possible. Mrs. Willow's eyes sparkled with curiosity. "That's a very specific request. What are you up to?" It's for a school project," Emma quickly replied, hoping to avoid more questions. "Ah, I see. Well, the best place to start would be the section on local legends and history over there." Mrs. Willow pointed to a dusty corner at the far end of the library. "You might find something interesting." The friends thanked her and hurried over to the indicated shelves. As they began to sift through the old, musty books, they discovered a surprising amount of information about Brightwood's history. Stories of forgotten kings, hidden treasures, and mysterious happenings. But it wasn't until they stumbled upon an ancient, leather-bound tome that they found what they were looking for. "Here," Mia exclaimed, holding up the book. The title read, "Legends of the Crystal of Eternity." The group gathered around as Emma carefully opened the fragile pages. The book was filled with detailed illustrations and descriptions of the crystal, explaining its origin and the immense power it held. The most interesting part, however, was the mention of a secret society known as the Keepers of Balance, who were tasked with protecting the crystal from falling into the wrong hands. "Do you think the rogue group is connected to these keepers?" Noah asked, his brow furrowed in thought. "It's possible," Max replied. "If they knew about the crystal, they might have figured out how to steal it. But why?" As they continued reading, they found a passage that made their blood run cold. It described an ancient prophecy. If the crystal were ever misused, it could bring about a catastrophic event that would unbalance the world, causing natural disasters, chaos, and widespread destruction. "We have to stop them," Lily said, her voice filled with determination. "We can't let this happen." Just then, Mia's eyes widened as she stared at the drawing she had made earlier of the symbol on the letter. "Look at this," she said, comparing it to an illustration in the book. The symbol was identical to the emblem of the Keepers of Balance. "That's our lead," Emma said. "We need to find out where this rogue group is hiding and what their next move will be." The friends knew that their time was limited. They had to act fast to uncover the rogue group's plans and prevent the crystal from being used. But as they left the library, they couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. Little did they know, their every move was being tracked by those who would stop at nothing to keep the crystal's power for themselves. The chase had begun, and the Supercrew was about to face their first real test.